at YouTube. And with today's video, we are talking about migration services from Google to Office 365, basically. During our last video, um, which was about migration of Microsoft services, Microsoft email services, which was a business case of migrating the tenant emails from one tenant to another tenant. So I've made a different video now, which is following the same concept, which is Google to Office 365. As a business case, a lot of feature availabilities or considering the again the business decisions, the management can decide or may decide to change the cloud platforms or the email services platform from Google to Office 365 as well for various benefits. Considering that, I'm coming up with the video where you can migrate the email services or emails from Google platform, which is Google Workspace, with any available license or any license that you're using, and then you can migrate it to Office 365. Okay. So the first question is, what can be migrated first of all? So we have to be very clear that what will be migrated in this service, right? So since this is a free tool, everything cannot be migrated. We need to understand that. So what will be migrated is emails, the mails that you guys have on the mailboxes, which I'll show you right here. Let's say you have got the trial mailboxes. So if I go here, and then these are the admin emails, few emails, directory users. There are 6 users at the moment here in this domain, and the domain, oops, it is signed out. Let's log in. Don't say the password. All right, so we have got, you can say, admin user 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So these are the emails that we have in Google platform. Same as we have to create another tenant in Microsoft where you'll create different mailboxes. I'm using my own Mandeep@conceptworks.tech domain where I have created user 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Admin is the mailbox which I'm not migrating right now. Probably I would need that in Google platform in the later stage. So, or if I need to migrate that, you can migrate that as well. Now, coming back to the OneNote page, your mails and rules will be migrated, which means we are talking about the entire mailbox itself. And we're talking about the calendar, we're talking about the contacts as well. Whereas in this type of migration, since it is a project based migration, API based migration, where we are actually requesting Microsoft to talk to Google admin page and take the mailboxes and come back to Office 365 rather than going in the older stage of migration that we used to do earlier, which was IMAP. Right. So for IMAP case, we had to ask, the username and the passwords for each available account. It is okay, but still it has to be confidential. So it is okay for some business cases where customers are okay to share their email users, email passwords, right? But then logically, it should not happen. That you should not share the password. So then, but that was the need of the hour, that time. So here we are not talking about without mailbox passwords. We need to migrate the email boxes from Google as a source and Office 365 as a destination. So, what do we need actually? When performing this migration, what do we need? The first thing that we need is, there is a role, basically IAM role. I'm not sure whether you're aware, but there are some roles which are there which can be assigned to the user, and the user that will be using has to have a project creator role, because we'll have to, when we log in Office 365 with that email account, so that has to pass a project creator, because we'll be creating a project using Microsoft platform and logging into Google platform, which will do a couple of other activities as well. It will create some project. It will put some permissions. A few more changes are there, which you will see in the further video. Next is before we actually start the migration, we have to complete certain procedures before we are initiating the migration, and those are mentioned below. I think it is not point number 2 in that case. Yeah, so this is point number 2. Create a subdomain for email routing to Office 365. Okay. The thing is, we'll not do the migration in this way. Okay, this can be done where your mail flow will be working and will be active in the Google services, and later on you can decide between Office 365 and Google. You can have an email communication using the subdomains of your existing domain. How it will be done? Let's say in the current domain that we are doing this migration is called tech. What is our domain? Okay, techshuriken.com. Yeah, so this is our domain where we are doing this migration. We are testing this migration. Shuriken, I don't know whether you're aware of what is shuriken. Shuriken is actually a weapon which was used by ninjas. I'm sure you guys are aware of ninjas. So everybody have seen the ninja cartoon. So they used to throw a star kind of thing, right, to attack somebody. So that used to call as shuriken. So shuriken has different varieties. So I've chosen this name as a weapon because it's for me this is a weapon. Yeah, so Tech Shuriken is a domain where I have got these mailboxes. This is where the source is. This is the destination. Now, when I'll create a subdomains, which I'm mentioning here, that can be a lengthy process. But what you will do is you will create a subdomain here, and then you will create MX records for subdomain, and then you will create a subdomain here. Let's say the source, your subdomain can be, which will be assigned to the same mailbox, called google.techshuriken.com. And here you can say of o365.techshuriken.com, or maybe this can be your destination.techshuriken.com, and this can be your source.techshuriken.com. And then you'll have to do some further testings, but we are talking about a smaller infrastructure right now, so we'll not be doing the lengthy process. Okay, we'll be following the easy process. We can call it this as a cutover migration, where the migration of the user mailboxes is done and then you change the MX records and close it. So this is a scenario we have taken right now. But yeah, the other one is also interesting. It takes little more time, but then can be done, right? So let's go ahead and see what do we need. So verify your domain, which is already done. It is just that you have to put the TXA record to verify the domain. MX records, SPF records are already active to Google at the moment. Will test this in few minutes, and add scope for API access. So that will be doing enable people Google Calendar APIs. Yes, that will be doing. Create user for migration. Yes, we'll have to follow that also. The CS will be there. Create migration batches and start the migration. This is what the overall procedure will look like. So with that, we are already here in Office 365, and we are here under users. So you'll see that um, your texture can user 1 2 3 4 5, these are here. So what do we need to do is we will go, not here, we'll go to exchange. Under exchange we have to go to migration. Okay, under migration, simple procedure that you have to create a migration batch. So migration batch will be anything that you like. For me, I'll type Google to 365. And of course, we are migrating this to Exchange Online. So let's proceed next. What type of migration we are talking about? We are talking about migrating from Google Workspace. We'll say next. This is the part where you can also do a manual configuration, or you can also do an automated configuration as well. A lot of people will face this problem that it will fail in the second step. Let me see if this is failing for me also. Then I'll tell you the workaround. Be patient on this step. Okay, this will fail. This might fail, and then don't be in a panic situation that this is not working. It will work. It is just that you have to be little careful when you're doing it. I'll show you that how it works. So create a Google Workspace project. Wow, it is done, it says, but I don't think so right now. So let's see how it goes. So this is where it fails actually, when it says that workspace service account in the project is getting created, or I've seen this failing during this time. Couple of times. I've done couple of migrations earlier as well, but then I realized, where is the problem. I've seen few other videos as well where people just show that this is done so simply, but I am pretty sure that they have done the first migration, second migration already on the same and tenant. Then you'll not have this problem. So you should see, because you will be doing this migration for either for the testing, or maybe you'll be doing this for in a project scenario. So let it fail, and then let's see what is the workaround. Okay, still going on. Now I can easily say that yes, this will fail. Correct. Now what do we do? What do we do? So let's go to sign in. So what happens actually is, so if you see, you don't have the permission. So the user we are logged in with, it asks for the credentials. Okay, and then when you log in, it says that you don't have the enough permissions, or it is when that you don't have logged into the Google account console ever. For this migration to succeed, you will need to log into sign into Google Workspace account. Once you will sign it, it may take few minutes before you can successfully complete this automation step. Okay, the idea is it needs some time. That is what we have to understand. Okay, so we'll not say that try again. What we will do is we'll click here, and we'll see that whether we are already logged in. So it is asking for the password, which means we were not logged in here. So let's put the password, guys. Oops. Okay. Oh, now, okay, good. So now, since this is logged in, okay, what you can do is, actually, for the testing, you can also create a project, a rough project. So any project, you can select your organization here, and then it just create it, just for the APIs, to activate these APIs. That's what I can call for this. Now once you'll see the project is created, you know and library, and we are under the project actually. Okay, so the project is created right now. Let's try once again. Now hopefully things should go well now, because we are already logged into the browser. See, now it moved, but it will fail. Don't forget that it will fail, But what I have done, I've realized this earlier as well. Even if you log in on the browser, it still fails. So my suggestion is let it fail. Click on the link, log into that, create a test project. No problems. No problems at all on this. Okay. But now, if you see, this project was the project that I created earlier. But then if you click on all, you might see the other projects as well. But not yet. I don't see it now. But let's see after the refresh, because as per this it said that this is the project is already created. But let's see if it is there or not there right now. So we'll go to libraries, all, under the domain, select the project. Okay, see, so this is the project which is already created, all here. Okay, good. Now what do we need to do? We have to copy this link. Click the link to add the scope for the API link. So what we need to do is this link will take us to console.google.com or somewhere. Now what we need to do is we have to activate these APIs. Okay. We have to permit the APIs, and these are the scope that we have to activate. So now let's copy this client ID first, which is given by Microsoft. Let's close this and we'll click on add new. We'll put this client ID here and be careful about the spaces. Go back, Control V, and authorize. That's pretty much it. Okay, got it. Got it, got it, got it. Few details. Okay, perfect. So now let's go to API controls. Go back. Sorry, let's copy this link once again. Okay. Now what I'm seeing, what I'm trying to find out is whether the project basically that we have given the permission, but to whom? Okay. We have given the I don't see this project actually at the moment. Okay, let's go back. So now till here it is done. Let's say next migration endpoint. We have to create a new migration endpoint. Migration endpoint can be anything you want to name it. So Google to O 365, and email address can be this the so they say that enter the settings related service account provided access to Google Workspace tenant. Okay, these setting will be available of the Google migration batches, right? So now when we created this the migration endpoint, before that, when we were there was auto script going on, it downloaded one file. Okay, so that file we'll have to upload here. So maybe let's see under download. So this is a file. If you see, it is at today's date and 9:34 p.m. So there's a file that we'll have to select, and we'll say next. Okay, now so everything looks okay. Now it is asking to import the CSV file of the users. Okay, Now for that we have to create a CSV file. So let's create a CSV file here. Let's open Excel and the email address. This will be the. We can also go to learn more to get a clear idea that what else is required. But I'm pretty sure that they just need this as a component. You only need the username here only in the case where if you're changing the source email and destination email. So let's say your username is user1 and then you want to change it to, let's say, mailbox1, right? So in that case you have to have a username and then you have to have an email address. Otherwise, if you're trying to keep the same email account, then you don't really need that. Okay, so let's go back and copy the username to the Excel. Control V1, Control V2. Right. 3, 4. With that, you can get an idea that I'm very bad with Excels. I don't know how this works, but let's save this to our desktop and let's call this users. And this has to be a CSV file, so otherwise, you guys understand that this will not work. So let's go back to our where? Here? No, here? Okay. Import CSV file. Let's go to desktop, users, and next. So here you see what is a target delivery domain. Okay. Now target delivery domain, we already have a domain here which is same, which is texturican.com. Now you go there just to copy the domain. Okay. Now we can manually type this. Okay. If this is not working, sometimes what happens is if you're using a browser like Chrome or Mozilla, I've seen this doesn't work, then you have to go to the legacy way of classic exchange method as well. Very nice. So it is not working for me also. Okay, good. Now this has to be there, otherwise it will not work. If this doesn't work, then you can close this window and then go to the classic exchange, and then from there also you guys know that how to do the migration. But then rest of the things will remain same. There is no change in that. So once completed, it will send the completion report. Let's not change anything here. Okay, good. So when this is done, meanwhile, what I want to do is let's close this. Let's close this. Cancel this. I am still concerned that yes, this is the project that we have to follow. This is the same name that you understand that has a downloaded API as well. So now what we need to do is we need to go to calendar first. So Google Calendar API, we need to enable this under this project. Don't forget this. This is important. If you enable on the other project, it doesn't make sense because this, the project has to have the permission of accepting the calendar. So we need actually two here. So this is one, and we also need people. Rest, we don't really need them because we have already um, you know created the scope as well for the project, so looks fine. And let's say done. Okay, no, this is getting synchronized. And the five mailboxes we're talking about, you can click on this, you can go to view details, and then this says provisioning. We are in danger till the time it says syncing. Otherwise, if it says provisioning, this is actually trying to connect the mailboxes over Google platform. And once this provisioning is being done, validated, then it will start synchronizing the mailboxes. Till then, you understand that you are still in under evaluation. Your something is not right. Once this is completed, um, it'll show the validation part and then syncing part, and then once it is done, then you will have this completed. Now, meanwhile, for some people, for them, if it is not working, which I told you earlier as well, if you're not able to create um, the file, what you will do is you'll go to classic exchange part. Okay, meanwhile, let it go, and then probably we'll see the progress a little later. What we'll do is here and then classic exchange under migration. Now you will see this running already because we have created this file here. So same thing is going on, it is running. If it is not working for you here because of the browser part, you can create the same thing here as well, which will be your Google Workspace migration, and then you can choose the file for your username. So let's go back to desktop just to show you that how you'll do it. And there's a migration endpoint is already created, so this has to be there. Okay, and then the migration batch, and then one next click, and then target domain. You'll have to, if you're not able to mention the target domain there, you will be able to type it here. So this is a doable here. And then once you do that, you can create sync. After this, once it will be in this process, you can come back here and you can see the process. Okay, let's close classic. We don't really need that now. Let's go back to our migration batch. Let's see what details are there. Now we'll have to wait till the time it is provisioning. I'll stop this video and then continue later once it changes the status. Okay.